Hi YouTube, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to show you some cover versions, but it's not just any old cover versions. These are cover versions by punk bands, and it's non-punk songs covered by punk bands. And I've set myself a rule here that I won't show any one band more than once. So here goes. So first off is Anti-Nowhere League, The Streets of London. This is their single from 1982, and the B-side is the brilliant So What? And Streets of London was a hit for Ralph McTell. It first appeared on an album of his, I think, in 1969, but it was a hit single in the UK in 1974, where it reached top 5. And of course, Streets of London is all about homelessness. And I think it really deserves a sort of punk sort of treatment. Now, I really quite like Ralph McTell's version, acoustic sort of folky version, but this punk treatment of the song is absolutely brilliant. And Anti-Nowhere League and Streets of London is my first cover. Right, next off, who have we got? Yes, it's The Clash. And this was a song that was released as a single in Ireland, apparently, in 1979, but wasn't released in the UK until 1988. And it did pretty well in the charts, made the top 30, and it's I Fought the Law, and this was the song that was written in 1958 by Sonny Curtis, and he was a member of the Crickets. And I think he recorded it himself in 1960. So that's the second one, and it's The Clash, I Fought the Law. And I'll just show you the label there. Right, Elvis Costello, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. And this is Elvis's version of this from 1986, made the top 40. And the song itself was probably made famous by Nina Simone. I think that's probably the most famous version, although the Animals did a version of it in 1965. But this is Elvis's version of it on the F-Beat label, and I'll just show you that. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So that's Elvis Costello. Right. So next off is it's the Creatures, and it's the band of Susie and Budgie, their other band, and it's called Right Now. And Right Now was written by Herbie Mann and Carl Sigman in 1962. And it was made famous by Mel Torme. So Budgie's drumming on this, as on so many of the Creatures and Banshees songs, is absolutely superb. But somehow it's it's a drumming that really makes this version for me. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And that's the Creatures and Right Now. And the next band up is The Damned, and this is their single from 1986. It's Eloise, reached number 3 in the charts. And the B-side of that, song called Temptation, and I think Nick's Lionel Butty said that was his favourite Damned song. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he said the other day, which I can understand because it's pretty damn good. But this is a song that was written by Paul Ryan and was sung by his brother Barry Ryan, and it was a hit in 1968, and I think it made top 5. It might have even been number 1. So that's The Damned and Eloise. Right, one of my favourite bands, Magazine, and this is their single Touch and Go, and as you can see, Goldfinger, the Bond theme from 1964, is on the B-side. And I was really surprised when I looked this up that the Shirley Bassey version of this, the original version, only made it to number 21 in the charts in 1964. And I'm absolutely amazed because it's an iconic Bond theme and everybody knows it still. But as I say, didn't do that good in the charts, only number 21. But there you go, on the Virgin label by Magazine, and that's Goldfinger. Right, we've had the Creatures. Now Susie and the Banshees. Now, Susie and the Banshees have done absolutely loads of cover versions. In fact, they did a whole album called Through the Looking Glass of cover versions. But this, I think, is their best cover version, and it precedes the album. And it's their version of the Beatles' Dear Prudence. So Dear Prudence appeared, of course, on the White Album. And this is a sort of fold out sleeve, if I can do it. So there you go. So there's pictures of all the band, and there's the cover itself, and it's on the Wonderland label. And not only do I think this is the best cover version that Susie and the Banshees have done, I also think it's my favourite. In fact, it's definitely my favourite Beatles cover. So that's saying something, because there have been some great Beatles covers over the years. Right, Stranglers and Walk On By. Now, Walk On By, of course, the Baccarat and David song. It was a hit for Dionne Warwick, or should I say Dionne Warwick, and she made top 10 with it in 1964. This version by the Stranglers, we've got a song with George Melly, the great jazz singer. There he is on vocals, called Old Codger, and there's also a version of Tank on here as well. So that's the Stranglers and Walk On By, and and it's on the United Artists label. That's right. The Skids, Working for the Yankee Dollar, and this is a double single version. So the second single that came with this, on the A side of that second single, is a song penned by David Bowie that was a hit for Motley Hoople, and that, of course, is All the Young Dudes, which was a top 5 hit for Motley Hoople back in 1972. So there's the there we go, on the Virgin label again, and the Skids from Working for the Yankee Dollar. It's All the Young Dudes, which I think is a great cover version. Right, one more single, and then I've got just a few albums to show you. So this is Girls at Her Best. They're a Leeds post-punk band, and this is their single Fast Boyfriend. And you can see on the B-side is This Train, and This Train, of course, is a gospel song. And it was first recorded right back in the 1930s by Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and it was an acoustic version. And she recorded it again in the 1950s when she discovered the electric guitar, and it was a bit of a hit at the time, apparently. So there you go. So that's Girls at Her Best and This Train. So that's the singles. So now some albums. So first up, I just better show you the back of this album, otherwise I'll get into a bit of trouble with YouTube maybe. But it's the Slits, the Cut, and of course this is their album from 1979. I nearly showed you the front one, didn't I? And the cover on here is I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and that was a song that was written by Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong. And of course, you know, it was a hit for Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is a definitive version of that. I think Gladys Knight and the Pips actually had first go at it. So that's the Slits, and I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Next up, another all-female punk band that get overlooked quite often, I think, and this is the Raincoats, and this is their 1979 album, self-titled The Raincoats, and it has a version of Lola by the Kinks, of course, penned by Ray Davies. I mean, it's a really nice version, but you know, it doesn't really compare to the Kinks' own version in 1970. So there you go. So that's the Raincoats, and Lola. Right, bit of Swedish post-punk, and that's the Viagra Boys, and this is their album Welfare Jazz. And there you can see the final track on this is called In Spite of Ourselves, and it's a duet, and they brought in Amy Taylor from Amyl Sniffers. And Amyl Sniffers are a Melbourne punk band, and it's a song that was written by the American country singer John Prine. And John Prine first recorded it in 1999, and he did an album with duets with various female singers. And he duetted with Iris Dement on In Spite of Ourselves. And the song itself is absolutely superb. It's all about a couple who have surprised themselves by still being together after all these years, you know, in spite of each other. And yeah, it's a brilliant song. Really good version of it on this, but I think John Prine's version is superior. And then finally, Stiff Little Fingers and their album Now Then. And third track on here is Love of the Common People. Now, Love of the Common People was first recorded, I think, way back in the 60s, but the sort of version that everybody knows is the Paul Young version that was a big hit in 1983. Now, it was Paul Young's first single, I believe, but what happened is that it was released and it did absolutely nothing. Made, you know, somewhere around number 105 in the chart, something like that, you know, didn't make the top 100 even. But then he released as the second single, Wherever I Lay My Hat, and it made number one. So the record company thought, well, we might as well give you know, Love of the Common People a second chance. So they did, and that was released in 1983. And that made number two in the charts then. But this is Stiff Little Fingers version on their album Now Then, and this is an absolutely superb album. And their version of Love of the Common People, I think it's really good as well. So that's it. Those are all my punk cover versions. So if you like that, you know, let me know what you think and what are your favourite cover versions. You know, what are your all-time sort of cover versions from your favourite genre of music? You know, why don't you make a video about it? But you know, anyway, do whatever you like, and I'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.